The other night I was discussing credit with a friend. He told me that he refused to get a credit card because he would not pay interest on the credit card. It's loan sharking. He's not wrong. The average interest rate for a new account is 19.24%, and for existing accounts it's 14.14%. The highest card I have is somewhere around 34%, and the lowest I have is around 19.24%, which interest-wise is ridiculous. The annual percentage rate should be much, much lower. After you mentioned that, we actually spent the next 2 hours talking about credit in general. I actually started with doing math that was a serious mistake. During this talk, he brought up a few of the myths that revolve around credit and credit cards in general. The first myth being that you have to carry a balance, and the second myth being that you have to pay interest on your credit cards. Both of these statements are false. You only have to pay interest on a credit card if you have an outstanding balance. An outstanding balance is any amount that is carried over from one billing cycle to the next. So if you pay off the bill during the billing cycle, you will pay zero interest on that billing cycle. The second myth, that you need to carry a balance, is also false. What it's referencing is the fact that on-time payments continuously over a long history look good on your credit report. That's what your credit report should look like. Continuous payments made. With that being said, people don't realize that if you owe them $0 for a month or 2 months, that counts as an on-time payment because you owed them zero, you paid them zero, therefore you're in good standing. The truth is that a credit card company that has extended a line of credit to you will actually deactivate your card and your whole account if there's no activity on it. The reason for this is they don't want to have outstanding credit lines to individuals who are not utilizing them. The reason this action hurts your credit score is that it actually lowers your available credit and increases your credit utilization if you do have a balance on your credit card. We'll touch on credit utilization in a minute. Next, we'll talk about bills and utilities, like your internet bill, your phone bill, your electricity bill. Some providers do report to the credit bureaus on on-time payments. Most, from my experience, do not. So they only report your late payments if it has to go into collections. They will eventually try to get their money, and they'll report it to the credit bureau to negatively impact you and to get your attention. If something does go into collections that you're unaware of and you get a notice, partner with the service provider to set up a payment plan or what have you. It is the best way instead of paying the collections. You can then partner with that same service provider either during or after that process to actually remove that from your credit report. A lot of providers will do this. All they really want is just their money back. As you're signing up for any service provider, you can actually ask if they report to the credit bureaus on the payments. Feel free to say something like you're just trying to build your credit, or it's something that matters if you're going to use them or not. They're usually going to be honest. You can actually find this usually in the fine print as well if you want to look through all that. The fourth myth I want to talk about is that having credit means that you have debt. This is only true for those individuals who think that credit is an extension of their wallet, means they have more money to spend. For those people, do not get a credit card. You're not responsible enough for a credit card or most lines of credit. Do not do it. It's a bad idea. For those of you who are still listening, having credit available to you and utilizing that credit are two vastly different things. Currently, my credit limit is $52,200 across 9 different credit cards, 8 of which are open and 1 is closed. The balance that I owe across all of those cards is $2,096. These are charges that have only occurred from my last billing cycle until now. When this bill is due, I will be paying that exact amount, $2,096. I will not be paying the minimum. I will not be paying half that. In doing this, I'm charged zero interest on that entire balance because I paid it off within the first billing cycle. The misinformed will think that my $52,000, oh, there's a cattail, shoot. That my $52,000 of credit availability equates to having $50K of debt. As I said before, I am only $2,096 as of today in debt, and I have available to me $52,200. Lastly, the myth that bad credit is better than no credit. In all honesty, This one's kind of true, but it's also kind of not. It depends on your circumstances. In the situation that you're looking to finance a car, the auto dealer will most likely find you a loan. You'll probably have to jump through some hoops. You'll have to do some extra legwork. You'll have to do extra steps, put more money down, be more out of pocket in some way or another, whether it's time, energy, or money, to be able to finance that car. But they will get it done simply because they don't get paid if they don't sell you the car, if they don't finance the loan. They will finance this loan regardless of credit score or lack of credit if they can find a bank that is willing to do it. You might have a ridiculous interest rate, something around like 30% or something crazy, but they will find you one. Now, if you're wanting to buy a home and you have zero credit, it'll be very difficult to find a loan provider that will allow you to take $100,000, $150,000, or $200,000 of debt onto your plate if you have zero track record of paying any debt back. Would you let a 20-year-old who's never driven behind the wheel? Or would you let someone who's driven for 2 decades but has wrecked 2 to 3 cars during those decades behind the wheel? Are you punished for having bad credit? Yes. But most of the time, you are punished more heavily with having zero credit. Whether those punishments be higher fees, higher interest, higher deposits, they affect everything that involves your credit. So most of the time it's better to have bad credit than no credit, but in some instances it really just doesn't matter. It usually just means that you're gonna have to do more work or be more out of pocket. There's nothing personal about this from the lenders. They just want to make their risk as small as possible because they are giving out money and they want money back. The whole reason they're doing this is that it's a business. They're actually just trying to generate some kind of income themselves. Credit isn't this big, scary, unknowable thing that's lurking out there in the shadows. It's not inherently evil. It's just a judgment of your financial responsibilities put down on paper that is scary for some people. This fear comes from a lack of knowledge. If they did a better job of teaching about finances in school, and I mean high school here, not college, individuals would be better prepared to go to college, to have that credit card line of booths set up on orientation day to sign up for 15 different credit cards that end up ruining your credit whenever you're already in debt to go to that school. Due to this lack of teaching, most young adults are ignorant to the value of credit and to the danger that it poses to their futures if handled irresponsibly. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, please comment, subscribe, like the video if you can, share it if you can. I really appreciate you spreading the word. All I really want to do is help some people who don't understand finances and credit move forward. Thank you again. I'm out.